let's get into Jubilee, okay? Because I've noticed a trend, chat, okay? Progressive YouTubers have been melting down over the recent Jubilee videos. As you guys know, Jubilee, if we're going to go back, Jubilee, guys, for a very long time was a dying channel, okay? And it had viral videos before, but they basically weren't as relevant up until recently. As you guys know, when I went on there and I did the, fit guys versus fat guys, that was their most viewed video in a very long time, and I'll show you guys what I mean by this. Just to give you guys
So the other day,
a look of what I mean by this, right? So if you go Jubilee, here's the YouTube channel right here, right? 10 million subscribers, big channel. But their claim to fame, right, if you go to the videos. Now let's pay attention to this. Check this out. Because I've seen this rise with Jubilee. Okay, here we go. All right, bam. There it is. Okay, now we found it. So here's the video that I did. 10 million views, right? Is being fat a choice? Fit men versus fat men. Now I want you guys to pay attention. Before we did this video, right? Look at their views. 7 million was their most viewed, and then you got 400K, 934, 400K, 500K, 398, 1.4, 3.1. Like, they were barely cracking 1 million on a lot of these videos, okay? Mind you, at the time, they had like maybe 5 or 6 million subscribers, and they're barely cracking 1M on a lot of these videos. Not even barely cracking 2M, right? So this video comes out that I did, 10 million, right, views. I think to this day, this is their most commented video. 75,000 fucking comments, chat. Okay, and all of it is basically about me, these comments, all right? I went on a legendary run on this one, okay? So now I want you guys to pay attention to see the views after this video comes out, right? So So 10 million, right? Now the videos start to come out, and now they're starting to reach, 1 million. But where they really blew up is right here, chat. Because I'm not going to sit here and try to take credit for them blowing up. What really blew them up is this. Boom. 1 verse 20, right? So once they started doing the 1 verse 20, look at this. 30 million views, chat. 30 million. Okay? 30 million. Now they started cooking. Okay? So our video for Fit vs. Fat got 10 million. That was the most a video had gotten in a very long time on their channel. Because like I told you before, if you look before, they were barely cracking 1 to 2 million. I get on there, 10 million. Then they do this 1 verse 20. Now they find a recipe. 30 million on this. So then they lean into the political content more. Bitch ass, this dude, I forget his name. This liberal, one woke teen survives 20 Trump supporters, right? And then they start getting into the political stuff, because remember, this was during the political era, right? 2024 during the campaign. So there's 1 verse 20. They clearly are sitting on a gold mine here, right? So then they do, look, Ben Shapiro, 1 verse 25, 15 million. One Democrat, Ed Destiny, 7 million, right? So the point I'm trying to make is they started getting crazy views once they started doing the 1 verse 20 concept, okay? And to this day, it's still their most viewed. If you look at 25 Christians, 1 verse 1 atheist, 9.4 million. So now, why am I telling you guys all this? I'm telling you guys this to show you guys that this has been their most successful recipe for making content in a long time, right? The 1 verse 20 concept. Now, the last one that came out was Mehdi Hassan versus 20 far-right conservatives, okay? Now, as you guys know, one of the people that debated Mehdi Hassan admitted that he was a fascist, which I thought was hilarious, right? But obviously, liberal media fucking lost their minds. And I've told you guys this before. Libs lose their mind every single time Republicans, conservatives do anything, and they call everything fascism.
People who have...
Let me find the part where this nigga said he was a fascist. This shit was hilarious, bro. Shit had me dead. All right, this guy right here.
Like John
ended up losing his job for this chat. Okay, he ended up losing his job.
Or someone.
Why
I can't
did
even
you
remember. Why did you...
Actually, no, it's in the preview.
Zateo
Actually, I think it's in the preview. Intro, yeah.
My family lineage is settlers from the 1500s.
Colonialists.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry,
talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
You're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, man, I told you guys already. I respect people that are openly racist or say what it is because at least you know they're not lying, bro. I could respect the fucking honesty. Bro just said straight up, yeah, I'm a fascist. So what?
Listen to me.
Now, progressives lose their mind about this shit, right? So basically, these 1 verse 20 things have been pissing off the left. Okay, as you guys know, I watch a lot of liberal media. I watch, CNN, I watch MSNBC, I watch left-wing political commentators to kind of keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on. And one of the things that's going on in left-wing media, progressive media right now with a lot of these influencers is a lot of them are pissed off at Jubilee. And the reason why they're pissed off at Jubilee is because they feel as though Jubilee is platforming far-right or alt-right personalities and giving a platform to what they call fringe ideas, okay? And the reason why I'm focusing on this is because progressives and liberals have been able to enjoy, over the past 4 years under the Biden administration, virtually no contest to their bullshit, okay? They've been able to leverage the fact that people on the far right or conservatives in general have been asymmetrically targeted by social media platforms for censorship, okay? Almost every big right-wing creator that I know has dealt with censorship to some degree, whether it's being banned, deplatformed, removed off or certain platforms altogether. If you are right-leaning in any way, whether it's in a culture war or politically or whatever it is, you are going to have to deal with some censorship. A perfect example of this, for example, that sounded crazy, is Twitch, right? If you look at Twitch, guys, I can't think of any right-wing political commentators that's been able to survive on Twitch long-term. Almost everyone's been banned. I got banned. Sneeko got banned. Other right-wing political commentators that have went on there have gotten banned. You simply can't exist. And obviously this has created, platforms like Rumble and everything else like that. But here's the difference. If you are radical leftists on Rumble, they're not going to ban you. Okay? So in other words, free speech platforms allow left-wing creators to be fine, but mainstream platforms don't allow conservative creators to be fine. Does that make sense? So what's going on right now since Trump has been elected is censorship has receded a little bit. And since censorship has receded a little bit, you're able to see me talk more openly about taboo topics. You're starting to see Nick Fuentes on YouTube. You're starting to see, people or elements of what people might consider the alt-right or the far-right start to be on main platforms like Jubilee. And the left is losing their mind over it, okay? I've seen people like Kyle Kulinski, Vosh, Hassan Piker losing their minds, especially with this interview here with Mehdi Hassan, okay? Talking to these people. For those of you that don't know who Mehdi Hassan is a American and British political commentator. He's a progressive, pretty woke. I do think that his stance on Israel and Gaza is fantastic. I've seen him absolutely demolish people in debates. I think that's his strongest suit. But when it comes to culture and political stuff, he's obviously a leftist, right? He's a leftist. Believes in feminism and all that other bullshit trash. But I do agree that he's spot on when it comes to Gaza, right? He's debated a few people and absolutely destroyed them. But left-wing media is losing their minds over this. So let's go ahead and see what Kyle Kulinski's got to say. I also got a clip here from Vosh, this fucking weirdo as well, who's another left-wing political streamer. And they're all pissed off that Mehdi Hassan even talked to these individuals, which speaks volumes to the left's mindset. They're not here for debate. They're here to censor. But anyway, let's go into it.
So the other day on the show, we covered Mehdi Hassan and his Jubilee debate, where I think the title was like he was debating 20 far-right conservatives. I believe that's what the title was. And so he went into it thinking, look, I'll just do my thing. I'll debate him. I'll win. Hopefully convert some people to a more left-wing worldview. And I think he did a great job. We covered some of this stuff. I think he's a phenomenal debater. He's always been a phenomenal debater. And I think it was mission accomplished in terms of holding down the fort for leftism. Now, having said that, I remember when we watched it, I started out by going, I don't know if this is worth it, bro. I don't know if this is worth it. And the reason I don't know if it's worth it is because now the far right, it's been mission creep, and they've gone further and further right, and now they're literally out there, like, proudly declaring themselves fascists, right? What's the next step? The next step is they're going to be like, yeah, I'm a Nazi. Yeah, I love Adolf Hitler. Like, that's happening. It already happened with Kanye West when he was on Alex Jones' show, right? And so I remember thinking, like, I don't know if I like this, because there is some degree of normalization happening of these fringe views, which really should be banished to, like, 4chan message boards with a bunch of freaks and weirdos and loners.
Now, very important, chat, okay? He said the quiet part out loud. People like him, and Hassan, a lot of these other guys have said this as well. They don't even want people that are considered far right or whatever to have a platform at all. They don't think they're worthy of being platformed. And this is why I hate progressives so much, and this is why I dislike them. Because they think that their stance is the only moral one and no one else should be heard. Okay? And what they're doing is they're blaming Jubilee for platforming people on the right to debate people from the left. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. The left is scared of debates with the right. They'll sit there and say they're not, but they fucking are. Because all the most prominent left-wing streamers or prominent left-wing creators like Kyle Kalinske, Hassan Piker, Vosh, and, you know, all these guys, instead of advocating for debate, they advocate for censorship. This is why I like Destiny. Destiny is the only person on the left that actively debates people on the right. He's the only one. Destiny is the only one from the left that actively debates conservative podcasters and creators. All these other motherfuckers just sit in a room and sit in their own echo chamber and cry and complain about right-wing people being racists.
Who are not,
And they think that their stance is the moral one and no one else deserves a platform. And this is why I heavily dislike people on the left. It's actually one of my biggest gripes of people on the left is they don't respect free speech. They really don't.
Socially competent who can waste their time there, right? And so I was a little iffy on it, but then as I watched the debate, I sort of came to the conclusion that these people look so stupid and so dumb that ultimately it discredited fascist ideology, so I came back around to being in favor of it. But what's interesting is
the left-wing argument is pretty much this. You're a fascist, and that's it. That's their argument, is you're a fascist.
It obviously wasn't just me having this dilemma watching this debate. It seems like everybody who watched it was sort of wrestling with the same thing, right? Like,
yes, because you fucking left-wingers are all pro-censorship. You guys are pro-censorship. You guys are never going to admit it, but I watch all you motherfuckers, and all of you guys advocate for people on the right to not even be platformed. Okay? Like, here, I'll show you guys another clip.
Am I okay with this? Am I not okay with this? Like what am I really watching here? And so what happened was, and if you were to read the comments on the video, you would see this very quickly, is that a lot of people basically came to the conclusion, like, you are actively hurting the country and hurting the discourse in the country. Because when you have people just flat out saying, I'm a fascist, and they're like giddy about the fact that they're fascist and they're coming out as fascist, it's like, again, you're providing this route of like normalization where it's okay in society to say that and we just move on like nothing happened.
See, in their eyes, they look at it like, yeah, we think, we're pro-censorship. You guys shouldn't even have the platform to talk.
Well, to be fair, the guy got fired, but there are reports that he got fired before this and pretended like it was because of this so he could do this whole cancel culture routine. But anyway, so I wanted to revisit this because, again, I don't know how I feel about this. So, like, on the one hand, this is the world we live in, right? Like, we do live among these absolute disgusting freaks and charlatans and losers and assholes. We do. There are people who are still cheerleading Donald Trump after all of his fucking concentration camp building and all of his illegal bombings of countries that didn't attack us and all of his destroying the Constitution and rounding up innocent people with no due process. And, like, there's people still support him. So what do you do with that fact? And part of me thinks, Yeah, you need a bunch of fucking like Chad leftists to fucking bulldoze these idiots in a public forum and humiliate them.
Yeah, but you motherfuckers don't want to do it. So they want to go ahead and refute our ideas, but they don't want to get their hands dirty and actually debate us and hear our worldview. See where I'm going with this? Oh yeah, like somebody should just like totally like take these guys' stupid ideas and just like smash them. But at the same time, like Jubilee shouldn't be platforming this. See the fucking conundrum that these people are in?
And make people go like, okay, it's clearly fucking really soy to be right wing, and so let's not.
No, it's soy to be fucking left wing. It's soy to be left wing because you guys openly advocate for mass censorship.
Not do that. Let's be left wing because right wingers are losers and paranoid weirdos and disgusting.
This Rebel Heartbase says Myron is doing all this for clout. Are you fucking stupid, nigga? Are you fucking
redacted?
Do you not understand that I touch all the taboo topics that get you in fucking trouble? You fucking dumbass. I talk about them boys. I talk about feminism. I talk about race realism. These are 3 forbidden topics that get you fucking put on the targeting list to get banned, dumb fuck. The fuck are you talking about? If I want a clout, I would go the route of Joey Swole. I would be a centrist, let's make everybody happy, kumbaya type guy that doesn't say anything divisive. You're a fucking dumbass. Nigga said I'm doing this for clout. You're a fucking for saying that. You lose clout by talking about this shit, you retard. Damn niggas are stupid. What the fuck?
Loners and whatever, right? So part of me believes that still, that if this is the world we live in, then this is like we're just forced to deal with it in a direct, straightforward way. But then the other part of me believes, no, like we need to force these motherfuckers back into the shadows. And in order to do that, you can't bring them out of the shadows, right? So like, yeah.
See, what you're wrestling with here, what you guys are observing, you're watching a liberal commentator wrestle with it in his head where, well, we need to debate the ideas, but we shouldn't even be platforming the ideas. You guys notice that? He's literally torn right now. His fucking brain is doing 2 things. On one end, he's saying, oh, these ideas are so bad that, you know, a leftist Chad needs to come in and just demolish them. But on the other hand, he's saying, well, we can't platform these people. And it goes back to what I've always said. The left is terrified of debates. And not only is the left terrified of debates, they're terrified of debates because what's going to end up happening is when they debate someone from the right, that person from the right, I guarantee you, is going to take more people from that leftist guy's audience than the leftist is going to take from his audience. I'm going to say that again for you guys. This is the real reason why these fucking liberals are so terrified of people on the right wing. They're scared of platforming people like myself, Nick Fuentes, etc., because we make fucking sense. And they know that if we're able to get a hold of it in front of their audience and we say, what the fuck is really going on in a debate, we are going to pull people from their audience over to us. Why? Because here on the right, especially whatever people might call the far right, we keep it real. We say the things that people say in the locker room. We say what the fuck we want to say, and we are not beholden to being scared of being censored. We already are censored. We are saying the quiet part out loud. We'll go back to the Kyle thing, and then I'll show you some Vosh clips, and then we'll move on to the next story.
Yeah, we need to bring back shame. We need to bring back social consequences. We need to bring back, like, there was a time, some of the things people get away with today, they never could have gotten away with in the past. You got libs of TikTok, that dumb bitch was out there saying...
Well, she is a dumb bitch, I ain't gonna lie. She's one of them boys, by the way, chat. She is one of them boys. She was one of the that got the Epstein files.
Like, the average IQ in Somalia is 68. It's showing the...
Well, that is kind of true. Niggas are
this, picture of this elected official, who's American, by the way, trying to imply that he has a low IQ because he's black. And it's like, if you said this shit in 1997, you would have been fucking... You would have lost your job. Your family would have fucking disowned you. They would have been disgusted by you. Like, we rolled the clock...
See, they're pro-censorship. See what I mean?
Back to 19...
They think it's great if you get punished for having base views.
30s style fucking German racism, and everybody's just cool with it, right?
Yeah, because it's fucking funny. So here's Vosh crying about it for a bit.
We do public events, we have to have security. Unfortunately, journalists now are targeted, judges are targeted, activists are targeted, politicians are targeted, members of Congress are having their security budgets out.
Right-leaning people are going to say they're not that complicated, you know?
In case you're wondering, this guy is literally
redacted.
FYI.
I've noticed there were moments where I clocked things very quickly because I know these people. I know where I didn't know those specific people. Jubilee picked those people, not Zateo, obviously not me. I just turned up as a participant. But I clocked those types of people. So when the Hulk guy was like, well, you know, there's a genocide, I'm like, you're white genocide guy. When the guy with the baseball cap who wanted me out, who pretended he was an economist till I called him out, when he said, well, I'm being replaced. You're a great replacement guy. When our fascist friend was quoting General Franco, I was like, you're a fascist. It's very clear. I mean, the Franco.
See how they don't care about conservative grievances whatsoever, like replacement or mass immigration creating great replacement. They don't give a fuck at all about that shit, right? It's like, oh yeah, we need to just like focus more on like identifying 99 genders, but not caring about Western countries being invaded by immigrants. You guys catch on to that? So in other words, left-wing issues are more important than right-wing issues.
Debate goes back to the 1960s.
Oh, it froze, but I'm also pausing it. When did you last actively research them out of interest? Genuine question. I'm not trying to like respond to your question with a snarky question myself. I'm genuinely curious. What conservative talking points right now do you think deserve research? I actually mean that. Like, what aren't the most...
Wow. What an insane thing to say. What conservative talking points do you think deserve research? This is what I mean when I tell you guys that these guys are fucking
redacted,
right? They don't even want you. They don't even think you're worthy of talking to, chat. And this is my problem with the left. They're not willing to sit there and debate their ideas. They will just sit there and say, "Oh, these guys are crazy. We don't need to debate. Why are we even platforming them? Why are we debating them?" And this right here is why people don't like, or why so many men especially are leaving the left. Whoa, what conservative topic is even worth like researching? What? Bruh. Yo, these guys, bro, I'm telling you, man, they live in their own fucking left-wing echo chambers, right? And their worldview is the only view. They refuse to look at other viewpoints. It's so fucking revealing listening to these guys on their streams talk about other opposing views. No empathy at all.
Most obvious, cynical, low IQ, immediate, like reflexive defense of anything Trump is doing.
Oh, Andrew Wilson debated this dude? When was that?
Because my thoughts right now is that there aren't any. I genuinely can't think of any. Now, there are lots of things that I think deserve research, right? Like, for instance, I've always been really interested in policy wonkery when it comes to urban planning, the exact ways you can kind of manage. Oh, another big thing that I'm interested in, demographics, right? The birth rate. You know, even though you guys get mad at me when I talk about it, I think it's a really interesting conversation that I've read a decent amount on. I'm curious about, like, well, why aren't people having children? What can we do to make people's lives better so they feel comfortable having children? What makes people happy? Stuff like that.
I'm seeing here, looks like, yeah, they debated a year ago.
I think these questions are really interesting, you know? But these are also not the questions that right-leaning people are asking, and they're not the conversations they want to have.
Oh my God, they actually did. They let dumbass Alex from whatever host this shit. What a fucking L, bro. Dude is insufferable.
I tried having a conversation on the birth rates, the declining birth rates with a conservative like 2 or 3 years ago, and he was just so openly anti-reality. Like, his only position was that we need to revoke women's rights. Like, so at that point, you're not even having the policy discussion. Now you're just having a discussion about whether or not revoking women's rights fixes the birth rate crisis, which, spoiler alert, it doesn't. The birth rates have been...
Yeah, the fact that he doesn't even want to engage on that tells you what you need to know. Oh, dude, this is so below me. I'm not even going to engage on this topic. This is what the left does. They moral grandstand.
Going down even in countries like Saudi Arabia and Iran. It's happening everywhere, even countries where women are second-class citizens. So, no.
Look, and what he's trying to do here is trying to say, oh, look, birth rates are still going down worldwide. Here's the thing, my friend. In Western countries where feminism is strong, the birth rates are declining the hardest. Okay? So though birth rates overall are declining, that does not refute the fact that the birth rates are declining at a higher rate in westernized countries where feminism is practiced. So he left out a whole bunch of relevant factors that play into it. Yes, birth rates are down as a whole. However, the Western countries are feeling the biggest brunt of that.
Oh, it's not that. Yeah. So I just don't know what warrants research. I want to know more about the world, I guess, and how to fix problems. But that's just not what the right. That's
also, he's reacting, guys. Just so you know what's going on for context here. He's reacting to Mehdi Hassan's reaction to being on Jubilee. That's what he's doing. Mehdi Hassan did like a quick Q&A after he did the Jubilee thing, and that's what he's responding to right now.
It's just not what the debates are about, you know?
Because I've been following this stuff for a long time, that's why partly I have a response for a lot of this stuff. But I appreciate you reading the book. And as I say in the book, preparation is key. And I did a lot of preparation for the Jubilee debate, even though my opponents did not, clearly. Liking this video? Then don't just watch. Hit
section of the clip online to get like as many accolades as possible. They're not ordinary people. Wannabe influencers don't act the same way ordinary people do.
The kind of people I interview for a living.
Also, look at this, guys. So you go on Hassan. Look, it's like clockwork, bro. All of them made a video on Jubilee. Look, what the fuck is this Jubilee?
Right? Wait, oh, you from Iran? Oh.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Look how happy he is to be like, I'm a fascist. I'm a fascist. What are you going to do about it? It's like, dude, I'm telling you, these people, when they're
Bro, all these liberal commentators are losing their minds over this dude said I'm a fucking fascist.
not in these limited environments, if they were to talk like this in like a random dive bar in the most right-wing town in the United States of America, they would get their ass beat, okay?
No, they wouldn't.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Like,
I'm
what,
Eddie.
what kind of
I would
retarded
just like to
assumption is
ask,
that?
what makes someone pro-crime versus, anti-crime?
So look, all of them dropped the video. Isn't it interesting how all of them dropped the video saying like this is insane? Bro, I'm telling you, bro, they don't want right-wingers to even be on the internet. I'm telling y'all, bro. If they could have it their way, they would censor everybody. And this one of the biggest differences I've noticed from people on the right versus the left. The right advocates for free speech, the left doesn't, bro. They don't. They don't believe in free speech. They really don't.
So just as a general rule of thumb, you have to adjust your style of debate, right? You're dealing with members of the public, not people in power. So your tone, your style has to be very different. You try not to come across
Also, guys, do me a quick favor, bro. We only got...
as patronizing, although halfway through the debate, I kind of lost that. There's no way you cannot patronize some of these people who are so dumb in the things they say. You'll remember the woman who...
See, I told you guys, this is what they think. They think everybody on the right wing is...
Redacted.
They think we are literally low IQ and stupid because we're not educated or we're not academic enough. This is what they think.
Who came up to me and said that you can't be an American and an immigrant, and then revealed that her parents are Americans who were immigrants. Anyways, so sometimes you do end up being patronizing. But yes, the experience was very different. As Charlie just mentioned, there was a sense of slightly foreboding and insecurity and fear because these people... Is one of them a nut job, which you don't feel when you're interviewing politicians? Emotionally, yes, it was a lot more emotional because A, they were very personally abusive, and that's not great. B, I'm thinking all the way through that I have kids. I have friends and family in this country. I live here. I've been here 10 years. I've been an American citizen for 5 years. This is our country. These are the people who are our neighbors, people in our workplaces, people in the grocery store aisle. That's what was so scary and emotionally disturbing about the surrounded experience. And again, I'm waiting to see those of you who criticize me for doing it. I'm sure some of you...
It is a little non-representative too, of course, because again, the way these like micro wannabe influencers behave is so different to the way real people behave. These micro-conservative influencers are desperately trying to claw themselves to the top in an environment where the people who lie the most aggressively and with the most performative cruelty are the ones who get the most attention. So they are like incentivized to play up every negative tendency. Like it's literally vice signaling. Like they approach this from the perspective of like, okay, so maybe the cucked rhino neocons like Bush might say something like, anyone can become American. I don't think that. Actually, I think only purebred whites can be American.
Yeah, this is not true. You actually get censored and lose a bunch of money and get fucked up for having that stance. So him saying that, shock rhetoric is going to get you more prominence, it's actually completely opposite of that. Being more radical, especially if you're going to be more radical on the right, you are cruising for a fucking bruising. Yes, censorship has receded a little bit over the past year since Trump has been in office, but that does not change the fact that having any type of worldviews that would be considered far right, whether it's let's be honest, let's deal with the elephant in the room, right? What are the main things that get you jammed up? If you talk about white genocide, you talk about them boys and their influence in America, you talk about race realism, you are critical of feminism in any degree and women having to go back to being in subservient positions for men. Like, all of these topics get you put in the radar of hate speech rules. Now, every major platform, chat, has hate speech community guidelines, okay? And they're purposely, ambiguously written to be enforced whenever they want, okay? So having this very, as you would say, edgy view on things really isn't beneficial to you in the long term if your goal is to make money on social media. It hurts you, okay? Because if you go down this road, this is why I tell some of you guys that ask me, yo, Myron, I want to be a creator, I want to get into fitness, whatever it may be. What do I tell you guys all the time? I tell you guys, yo, if you're going to get into a niche that doesn't have to deal with divisive topics, stay on that topic and stay away from anything else, okay? Because you are going to lose half your audience or if you build your audience up in normie way. Look at Joey Swole right now. It's proving my point. He built up a normal audience that thought it was cool, that he would be a moral grandstander on how people behave in the gym, right? And then next thing you know, he does a Hulk Hogan tribute, and the world is ending. Oh, how dare you do a tribute to this racist? That's the left, bro. That's them. And then he caved and he apologized, which he shouldn't have done. But that's where we are. That's how it goes now. So Vosh is wrong by saying, oh, having this edgy content thing is like gets you more clicks or whatever. Bruh, that's if you can even last on the platform. You won't even last on the platform a lot of the times to even get the clicks that you're talking about.